Today I'm going to go over the difference between kVp and mAs and the difference between quality and quantity. So right now I have an elbow set up on tabletop, right? And if I use these little balls to represent X-ray, in reality X-ray mass is going to be hundreds of thousands of X-ray photons. But I like to think of simple numbers, right? So if I have an X-ray and I use one mass, I'm going to use one ball. If I have an X-ray and I use 3 mass, I'm going to use 3 balls, okay? So right now, if I use 1 mass, this patient is only getting a dose of 1 mass, right? As a patient, would you rather get 1 mass or would you rather get like 3 mass, right? As I add more mass, I'm giving the patient more dose, okay? So the quantity literally doubles. Therefore, the patient dose literally doubles as I increase or double my mass. So when we talk about kVp, kVp controls the quantity and quality, but mostly what it's doing is controlling the quality. So if I have a low kVp, and let's say I'm working with 5 mass, okay? I've got my 5 balls, and I'm going to use a low kVp, let's say like 50 kVp. When you use a low kVp, it means it's going to have a very long wavelength, low frequency, low energy. So when I use a low kVp, some of it's going to hit the patient, some of it's going to hit the board, but some of it might not even hit the patient, right, the X-ray photons, because they're just so weak. They don't even have the energy to go all the way through and hit the patient. So a low kVp is going to create a very black and white image because either it's going to be attenuated and blocked by like the muscle or the bones and stuff like that, or it's going to be transmitted and go straight through and create the black. It doesn't really allow for a lot of grays like a higher kVp. So as I go into a higher kVp, now what I'm doing is I'm giving more oomph to the X-ray photons, right? So I'm still working with the same 5 X-ray photons, but now they're going to have more strength. So now they're going to be most likely all the way hitting the patient, hitting the image receptor. Notice that I don't have any balls like just dropping off and not even making it to the patient. Therefore, if I have more X-ray photons hitting the image receptor of the patient, yes, patient dose does go up with a higher kVp. But mostly what it does is it allows more grays to actually hit the image receptor, which we can manipulate with things like the lookup table and window width and windowing and all the different things inside the histogram when we do automatic rescaling. So high kVp, good. Low mass, good. We want to keep our mass as low as possible, the number of balls we're actually chucking at the person as low as possible. We want to keep the strength as high as possible so it gives us the most grays in our image, but also it will increase our dose, but not nearly as much as like literally doubling my dose, right? I hope that helps.